On today's video, I have a new theory I would like to discuss. I am calling it instance theory or shard theory, and it goes back to the very first video game that used the idea of instances. What is an instance? According to Wikipedia, in a massively multiplayer online game, an instance is a special area, typically a dungeon, that generates a new copy of the location for each group, or for certain numbers of people that enter the area, or for certain groups of people. What this boils down to, essentially, in layman's terms, is you having a unique experience in a world that everybody is having the same experience in, and they individualize it for you. Again, going back to the video games, in, for example, the popular MMORPG known as World of Warcraft. When you go to a dungeon with you and your 4 groups of friends, or 9 groups of friends, or whatever many, that dungeon is unique for you guys only. What happens in that dungeon is not the same as another group of people entering there, and it's not the same for others. And I'm expanding this theory into reality and servers and Twitter. I believe that major corporations, in terms of Google, in terms of YouTube, are using individualized servers, aka shards. That's a term from Ultima Online, the original term before instance ever came out. And they are instancing you on Twitter. So, for example, the very first topic I'd like to discuss is the echo chamber theory with this. When you're on Twitter, when you're having fun with other anons out there, when you're joking around, what if that's your instance, that you're in there with these other people that have been identified with your thought pattern, your way of speaking, your attitude, and you're just in a digital echo chamber? You always hear about people saying, oh, you're in your own little echo chamber just talking to people that agree with you. I believe now social engineers are using this on the technical, physical, and digital levels to separate us into our own think groups. You might be on Twitter doing the most popular hashtag campaign, and you think it's gaining traction, but you're in that instance with other people that think like you. And if my theories are correct, this censorship 3.0, Internet 3.0 of the future will be like this. All the truthers out there will be in their own digital instance, their own dungeon, per se, and no one outside of that will hear any of the information that you are talking about. Yes, you will have access to your own instance of the internet, but no one else knows about you. You've been taken off the internet as they know it. The public internet, the normie internet. We'll call that server A or shard A, instance A. That's where all the normies are. That's where all the Hollywood actors are. And we get little bleed-ins into our dimension, into our instance. Oh, Kanye said this, Kanye said that. But try to respond to Kanye. Will he ever get back to you? Oh, that's because he's a big celebrity. That's because he's a big star. I'm starting to notice now that people on Twitter are being separated digitally, and we can't find each other. We can't communicate with each other. This is instance theory in the beta stages. What happens in the future when the internet gets fully overrun by these control freaks? They won't turn the internet off. Too many normies will freak out. Too many zombified people will erupt in panic and emotion. They need to instance our internet. They need to take all the people that are their problems, their trouble, send them to their own internet gulag, where you have no idea there's another internet even out there because it's all normal to you. You have all your social medias. You have all your people that you're connected with, all talking. No one's censored. Everything's normal. But nobody can hear you scream out there. It's like a more advanced version of shadow banning. And what happens now after they put us in our own unique version of the internet, in our own echo chamber? Then what happens when they doppelganger you on the outside? Okay, you're in internet instance B, you're talking to all your friends, and then in server number A, yes, I said number A, you have a doppelganger that is imitating you, an AI that has researched you, and on the normie Twitter, you exist out there, okay, in a bot form, and they are replicating you, and you're a facade to them. You are now a puppet, and you have no idea because you're in your own instance, you're doing your own hashtag campaigns, and what's happening on the real internet, you have no idea about. This goes into multi-layered theory, too, of the internet. We know about the dark web, the deep web. I believe that they're forming more layers in between the dark web and the normal internet, the normie internet. When the technocrats can put us all into digital concentration camps, and we don't even realize it at that point because we feel that, the paint on the wall is so brand new that we don't even realize it's a jail, it's a prison. That's what's happening with this new form of shadow banning, this new form of censorship. And ever since the very first shards were created in Ultima Online to fix a issue in the game, it was a form of depopulating the main world. Okay, let's just pretend there were 10,000 people on that one world, that one server. They broke it apart into 20 maybe. Okay, now there's only 500, 1,000 people on each server. So that limits the population, limits the communication. It also instances all the scenarios that are taking place for the control freaks and the think tanks to observe. Because from their point of view, they can observe all the instances. They can observe all the servers at once. And they can see, in cell block D, in the 4chan instance, they're talking about Isaac Cappy and this, that, and the other. But the normal people will never hear that. We're watching cat videos and dog videos. You have to understand the basis of these algorithms. You are already in your own personal internet paradise. Think about this. If you watch cooking videos for entertainment, your algorithm on YouTube's full of more cooking videos. And that is to cater to you and your personal footprint in the internet, what you desire, what you like. And that is happening further now on the bigger spectrum with bigger companies like Twitter. You will be instanced on Twitter now. And the people that you communicate with from here on forward are going to be very like-minded people. And you only will get a couple detractors. And you're going to start seeing these and you're going to be like, well, this is odd. Before, in the old internet, there was a lot more opposition. Talib Kweli used to come and harass me on my old Twitter. Now I've been instanced where they will never see me ever again. Only you will see me because you are trapped in the same instance that I am, the same server, the same digital dimension that I'm in. That's exactly the purpose of what they're doing. They are digitizing the human race to create digital copies of you when you are gone, or to create situations that can make you do things that you don't normally do. This could be looked at as the deep fake theories and how the government's prepping for their own versions of this, like real videos that they're going to claim are deep fakes. But twist that around on the small spectrum to the citizen. Imagine if you on Twitter, you're just an enthusiast of video games or anime, and you're on Twitter, and they start limiting the information that's coming into your world. They're only giving you the information that they deemed appropriate for you, that you desire, okay? And they're going to feed you that and keep you in this digital prison. It's all because their God is in the digital realm. They believe in this Antichrist AI system that gives them their knowledge, that they think is feeding them all this great information, making them clairvoyant, making them a false digitized version of omnipotent, omnipresent. That's what they want. And in order to gain more power over you, they must digitize you. And not only digitize you and make you a social media mechanism / plastic person, but they want to make it where they can mold that plastic person. That they'll just keep you, the real you, in an instanced Twitter, a server version of Facebook, and you will never get outside of that box unless you break through the algorithms, unless you use techniques that some of you might have picked up from watching my channel. Okay, this is the reason for the video game episodes that are coming out on my show is because we are breaking through the instances. We are using the algorithms against them to get to other servers and other areas that people are in digital concentration camps. These are known as Twitter, Facebook. But within Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, there are multiple facades and facets of the original crystal shard, as they said in Ultima Online. Basically, in technological terms, you are on server number 117A in a giant warehouse located at Twitter headquarters, and you will never know what the people on server 256 are talking about. You will never know that there are other people out there, other Anons on server 375. We all think we're in the giant world of Twitter. We all think we're in this MMORPG, this one world we're all sharing digitally on Twitter, but no. It's been broken apart into shards, into servers, into instances. And there are other complete duplicate Twitters out there, and all different people on them, and all different conversations going on that you will never see because you are not on that server. And if you are deemed a threat to them, they put you on a shadow ban server. They put you in an instance that have other troublemakers in there. And they can eventually get so evil and so powerful with this that they could just delete you from the internet, shut down your entire voice, okay, and put you in an instance where you're talking to bots all day and you think that you're engaging people. Think about that. This video is just to activate some almonds out there. Some of the stuff I talked about is going to click in some of your minds and you will get it. Other people are going to treat this as a new NPC theory. But I believe that in this digital realm that they're duplicating things in the real world, and now they're doing it back and forth. So things they do in the real world, their control freak mechanisms, they're now putting into the digital and back and forth. And now they're instancing reality. Think about it. Activate some almonds. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't. Please share the video. Help break through the instances. Maybe you're in server 71 and you might happen to have heard this, because you're connected to another server. There are connection points. There are tension points in this. Maybe everyone in the 100 section is connected, and that's how they allow information to bleed through a little bit, but they limit it. I am still going over the technicalities of this theory, and it is a theory. So, take it for what you will. Please help support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon, and at the very least help spread the video around this instanced digital gulag called the internet. Thank you very much for watching.